Okay, good morning, everyone.
Hello, everyone. So, January is National Mentoring Month, and I want to say to you all, welcome to our Thank Your Mentor conversation. Today, we are talking about mentors, all the people who show up, listen, and quietly make a difference. This discussion is about thanking them, essentially, sharing our experiences, and recognizing the impact that mentoring has on our personal and our professional journeys. Now, I've got the experience of being joined by two superb mentors, both of whom have influenced me. The first is Sujatha Thaladi. She is the co-founder and CEO of the Mentor Ring. She's also an honorary Air Commodore for the 614 Squadron and Wales's regional coordinator for South Asian Heritage Month. She's a passionate mentor and she supports and empowers individuals from across Wales, England, and other countries. Sujatha, can you just tell us a couple of lines about the mentoring?
Well, mentoring is a charity that is dedicated to supporting individuals of all ages and backgrounds through mentoring, education, and well-being initiatives. So we normally try to do bespoke mentoring on a one-to-one level, group mentoring sessions to boost confidence and resilience. We've got many projects around, so our aim is to make sure that everyone unleash their potential.
Yeah, and it's a brilliant organization. So we're also being joined by Nisha. Nisha Harichandran is an ICF ACC accredited joy coach and culture architect with lots of experience across law and complex sectors. She's combined this all together to help support personal development and connection. In addition to coaching, she's an author, a speaker, and a board member.
Welcome, Nisha.
So,
Hi, thank you for having me here today.
Now, mentoring, as you know, it's a broad topic, and I'm going to try and isolate it. So I have a series of questions for you. And the first question is, I'm going to address it to Sujatha. The first question is, why do you think National Mentoring Month is so important?
I believe National Mentoring Month is important because it highlights the compounded impact of a simple conversation. We often think mentoring as a massive commitment of time, but it's actually about a ripple effect where one piece of advice or one person's belief in you can change your entire career trajectory. It's about human connection as well. So this month serves as a vital reminder to stop and thank those who open doors for us, and more importantly, challenges us to be that open door for someone else. As a co-founder of the mentoring charity, I see National Mentoring Month not just as a celebration, but it's a necessity. My own journey from being an organic chemistry lecturer in India to an international student recruiter in Wales, and now or CEO of the mentoring and also honorary Air Commodore wasn't a straight line path. And it was a path paved by people who believed in me before I knew where to go. I remember early when I came to the UK, I had the academic qualification. I'm a postgraduate in organic chemistry, but I didn't have the cultural map to navigate in a new professional world. It was mentors who supported me and helped me to translate my potential into an opportunity. So today at the mentoring, we serve those who are socioeconomically disadvantaged. And I believe this month is vital because talent is universal, but not the opportunity. Mentoring is the bridge that closes that gap, whether I'm mentoring or supporting mental health through arts or just by having a chat or celebrating South Asian heritage. The core is always the same. We at the mentoring empower individuals by showing them they don't have to walk the path alone. This month reminds us that when we mentor, we aren't just changing a career, we are changing a life's trajectory.
Brilliant, Martha. Yeah, you're right. It's very much about people who believe in you and help you close that gap. Um, yeah, and you were talking about commitment of time because it doesn't have to be continuous. It can be little bits that slowly encourage us and take us forward, right? Okay. So mentoring comes in different ways. I was just wondering, now this is a question that's directed at really at both of you. Um, can you expand a bit more about the types of mentoring that is available, or perhaps that both of you seem to take on? So I'll address that first of all to Nisha, and perhaps Sujatha can join in.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. Just want to share that, the reflections that Sujata shared earlier, just beautiful in terms of somebody that helps you navigate that map. So mentoring, as Maxine you rightly pointed out, takes many forms. You have structured, more formal mentorings, you have informal ones, peer-led mentoring. The formal ones usually come with a matching. You have some formal processes, you go through some structures, goal setting, etc. Peer reviews, peer-led mentorings could be more informal conversations. Think of it like having a wing person by your side, somebody to nudge you, guide you, and as Sujata shared earlier, help you open those doors so that you don't have to walk through those doors by yourself, and who can also point you to which doors to open and what path it may take you to. Because mentoring is more directive, it's more advisory, guidance oriented, and tons of mentors are out there who are readily able to share their lived experiences so that you have that navigation guide, as Sujata also mentioned. So another way I look at mentoring is as having a map reader with you. You go into something, you're looking at life or business, or depending on what your concerns are. And this person who may have had that experience, who has seen this path, they may not be walking your path, but they have been there. They have encountered similar situations, and they can help you navigate through those obstacles, or perhaps talk you through those situations. Why, this may be better than the other option. So really depends. The starting point could be what is it that you want out of the mentoring, and there are ample of choices to choose from.
You've
Uh,
covered everything, so I don't know what to say now.
you
uh, well,
know, I
sorry.
was going to
Uh,
say,
yeah, what I feel is like if somebody asks me what mentoring actually looks like in practice, I describe it as three distinct roles. Like it looks like a mirror. A
Mm.
mentor reflects your strength back to you when you are blinded by that imposter syndrome. As a lecturer moving from India to the UK, I needed someone to show me that my skills were transferable and valuable. So a mentor sees the you that you haven't become yet. Second, it looks like a compass. So it isn't a GPS that gives you directions. It's like a mentoring is like a compass that points you in the right direction. Like Nisha already told about that, covered about that. And it's about guidance, not control. And the last one, which I will say that it looks like a bridge. So at the mentoring, we see this every day. Mentoring looks like someone using their own networks to connect a disadvantaged individuals to a room that wouldn't otherwise have access to. Ultimately, mentoring looks like a transfer of confidence. It's a quiet, consistent act of one person saying to another, you've already said that, Nisha, I have been where you are and I know where you can get to where I am. So that's how I feel about mentoring, how it looks like, Maxine.
reflecting on things that both of you have said, I've just made a note of something. I really like, Nisha, what you said about having a wing person, because that wing person will be somebody who's quite objective. So they'll be able to see your flaws, see your strengths, and help guide you forward. Sujatha, your journey as a mentee and a mentor has been really inspiring, because you came from somewhere where you didn't know the cultural background over here. They've been able to guide you, and you've risen with that.
Thank you.
So that's been really good. And I love the fact that you said about a network, about a bridge, having access to other possible networks. I think that's, yeah, I think that's really, it puts it into practice. Right. So my next question then, I'm going to address this to Nisha. It's about confidence building. I know, Nisha, as a coach, you've got a wealth of experience. And I just wondered what you do to help mentees build their confidence. Because I feel, though, as a mentee, we have serious anxiety issues sometimes. We have a lack of confidence. So, yeah, anything that you could help us to overcome that barrier.
Cool. And just to put it in perspective, not just mentees alone, mentors too have a sense of nervousness and anxiety during that relationship because there is a certain expectation attached, as Sujata may know, that we may have all the answers, given that we've taken the role of a mentor. So the first one, I think both my tips today would apply equally to both mentors and mentees. The first one is just take a breath. Just exhale. Exhale, because the exhale is equally as important as the inhale. If you keep all of that inhale in, that anxiety in, you're just going to really stress yourself out. So just exhale, just take a breath. We are all humans, two adults at the table having a conversation in terms of how we can navigate this path together. One has a little bit more experience than the other, but at the essence, we are here together in this role. And there are lots of breathwork exercises that you can look up on the internet. One of my favorites is the box breathing because it's nice. It's got 4 edges, and you can just inhale for 4 counts, hold that breath for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, and hold the breath for 4 counts. It's easy to remember because it's a box. So whenever you look at a box or anything with 4 points, you'll remember box breathing, and you can apply it any point in time. I used it just moments ago before we stepped into this conversation just to relax myself. Something else I want to just share with you is about humble garlic. The garlic, a quintessential ingredient in most of our cuisines across the world. The garlic knows it's pungent. It comes with its own reputation and judgment, but it's confident. It trusts what it can do in that moment. However small, however large, however, whether it's roasted, chopped, grilled, smashed, whatever form, it knows its value. And it knows that it can also blend in with everybody else. So it's a marriage of partnership. It can also work alongside the onion or anybody else that comes into that pot. And the essence of the garlic is about trust. Trusting yourself, trusting your path, and trusting that you bring value. And I think Sujata mentioned earlier how a mentor would spotlight things that you can't see within yourself. So my tip for all of you is, be more of that garlic and step in right there because you really have something to bring to the table. And a mentor would equally learn from that relationship with a mentee.
I love that garlic comparison because I use garlic in my cuisines most of the time. So I'm going to remember that. Thank you, Nisha.
I
Most
think I'm
welcome.
going to romanticize garlic now. I will never look at garlic in the same way. You both mentioned something actually, strength spotting. Yeah, can you expand on that, perhaps, both either of you, on the talent spotting? It's something that, as a mentee, I feel like it's quite powerful to be reminded, for a mentee to be reminded of their strengths, because every time when there's a situation that arises, sometimes we fall down. And I feel like as part of a mentor, it's great when you can be objective and just keep reminding us you've got this strength and you can do it. So you kind of, both of you touched upon that. And that was really, really useful. I'm going now to sway the conversation to personal growth. And again, this is for both of you, okay? How does mentoring shape personal and professional journeys? Sujatha, would you like to answer first of all?
No problem. What about you, Nisha? Shall I go ahead?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Oh, in my experience, mentoring shapes a journey by providing aerial view, that we often lack when we are in the middle of our own struggles. Professionally, it's about navigation. When I moved to the UK, I had the skills, but I didn't have the unwritten rules of the UK job market or volunteering or networking. A mentor basically acts as a cultural and professional translator. They don't just tell you where to go, but they show you how to read the map. This is why at the mentoring, we see mentees unleashing their potential 5 times quicker and more often because they're navigating with a clearer picture, clearer map. Personally, mentoring shapes us through permission. So many individuals from socioeconomic disadvantaged background have got the talent. They've got hidden talent as well, but lack the permission to dream higher, dream bigger. A mentor is often the first person to say, you belong to this room. And that shift is permanent. The thinking of that, self-perception is permanent. It turns a job into a career or a career into a legacy of giving back. And ultimately, mentoring doesn't just change where you go, it changes who you believe you can become. So that's what I feel.
That's so powerful, just in terms of what you shared there, Sujata. And I think the impact of a mentor is so life-changing.
Yeah, I mean, we've done with so many people within our organization and outside it as well, because I worked in other organizations. I mentor students from the University of Westminster and some students back home in India. And it's so good to see them telling that, wow, that was so good. And I myself thank my mentors, my lecturers who were behind me, and they given me support. So I would like to thank whoever they are, wherever they are today.
I want to just add at that point. I mean, I feel like whatever skills you give to your mentees, they then can pass on to other men. They then become mentors themselves, and pass on their skills to other mentees. So it is that ripple effect.
No,
Yeah.
Nisha, did you want to expand
absolutely.
on anything?
Yeah, if I could share a personal story, if I may. So early on in my career as a lawyer, I would be very quiet in the meeting room, just taking notes, sitting amongst peers, clients, etc. Always thinking that, the manager or somebody else, the partner in the room, has all the answers and they know better. So even as the answers trickle in your mind, or as you inch, you want to put your hand forward, the hand doesn't go up. And I was really fortunate to have managers and team leaders beside me who encouraged me to take the nudge. But it was also a bit of skin in the game, as we said, about somebody who gently challenges you to take that step forward. They said, you want in on the deal, you want to be part of the conversation, you have to start contributing to the conversation. And gradually, encouragingly, lovingly, I started leading with client updates and eventually grew to become single points of contact for client matters. And what it did for me was in the room initially, I knew I had somebody there with me. So even as I stumble or if I trip, somebody else is there to hold my hand. And gradually they let it go. So as you take that step forward, you have that that role that you can kind of step into. You come out of your shadows and you start owning who you are and who you want to be. And through that, your own potential, what you didn't see in yourself starts coming through. And Maxine, you spoke about that ripple effect. So now when I see somebody else who is slightly quieter in a room, you just go and give them a little nudge, share a little tip with them. So the ripple effect continues because you've personally felt and tasted what is it like and what it did for you and how it has kind of brought you forward. So really heartfelt thanks to everybody who kind of believed and shared and guided me through on this journey.
You had a wingman, didn't you, Nisha? And
Many winged women's and men and friends and angels around me.
that's brilliant. Your story sounds so familiar.
Thank you for sharing that, Nisha. It's interesting. I think we all go through, though we are mentors, we say, but we all have been mentees as well. No mentor could be a mentor without being a mentee, I feel. Everybody needs somebody or the other to be where they are now.
Yeah, they certainly do, which kind of brings us nicely onto the next topic. Well, my next question, which is about community. Can you perhaps expand how the relationship between mentoring and the community? And I'm going to address that to Sujatha because at the mentoring, we do a lot of mentoring in group activities, right?
So at the mentoring, we view mentoring as the bridge between isolation and integration. So mentoring strengthens communities because it transforms individual success into a collective progress. So when we mentor somebody, we aren't just helping one person, we are creating a role model. So in our work with South Asian Heritage, I have seen how mentoring preserves our rich cultural traditions while simultaneously giving people the tools to thrive in a modern professional environment. It allows us to integrate without losing our identity. A community is only as strong as its connections. I'm sure you all believe that. And mentoring turns strangers into a support network and ensures that knowledge isn't gate kept, but it is shared. When one person succeeds, what happens is it reaches back to pull another up. So the entire flow of the community is raised. That's how we build a resilient, inclusive society where everyone feels that they truly belong to that place. We we don't just build careers, we build the social fabric
Yeah,
that
yeah.
holds us all together. That's what is our aim as well. And we are getting there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I want to add that certain communities and cultures can perhaps focus on being more negative. So if you have lots of voices being negative, you're only ever going to believe that. That's why it's so powerful to have a positive voice there. And we hope that rubs off onto other people. From my own personal experience, sometimes I know that I gave up even before I started because there was so much negativity. And that's why I think it's so important that we have positivity coming from one or two sources, that we can emit that to other people. So yeah, thank you.
Touched
Thank you
on.
very much. Right. So moving on then, I just want to say this has been a really, really, really interesting discussion, and I hope it's been helpful to any of you listening. I want to say a huge thanks to Sujatha and to Nisha for your input and for highlighting these certain factors. I'm not going to forget the garlic or the box breathing or the bridge for that matter. I have one last question for you both. And this is just simply, can you please perhaps share some simple, actionable ideas that we can take away as a mentor or as a mentee? So I'll address it to Nisha first of all, and then perhaps Sujatha, you can add it.
You want me to start now or Nisha?
Nisha, would that be
Uh,
okay?
yeah, of course, of course. So, two things to share as we wrap up. The first is adopt that player mindset. wherever you are as a mentor or mentee, don't feel you need to be absolutely ready before you get into the field and give your time or to ask for that help. And as a player who doesn't leave the field when they trip up, they just get up and continue playing on. So don't let that readiness stop you from starting this journey. That's the first. And the second is a kind word really goes a long way, and it really leaves a mark in building that trust, building that self-belief, and you just don't know whose heart and whose smile that you have touched. So as much as you're giving through feedback, constructive as it may be, let it be a positive feedback. So a couple of tips here as you give your positive feedback is just don't make it so general. Like what you did was great, good. It sounds quite standard, quite generic. Go a little bit deeper. What was it about it that made it good? What did that individual specifically do? Use some sensory imagery into your language. And as the person receives the feedback, they equally start reliving that experience. So, the care and the thought that they had put into this. For example, dear Maxine had really worked behind the scenes along with the whole TMR team in bringing us together tirelessly, getting us organized, reminding us. And all of that really helped us to show up here today and give our best and share our insights to all of you. And as you share that encouragement, the other person also equally starts receiving it and taking that forward. So those are two things to share with everyone today.
Nisha, thank you. I think that was mentoring in motion right before your eyes, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, see how to be a mentor every day. That's what I would like to say. It's about, like you covered, practice loud encouragement. When you see someone doing something well, especially like Maxine, anybody, colleagues, don't just think it. You have to say it, like you said, Nisha. Thank you. In a meeting, say, "I thought your point was excellent." That 5-second act of validation is micro mentoring, I can say, and that builds immediate belonging. Now, second one is, don't ask, "Will you be my mentor?" That's a big commitment. Instead, ask for flash mentoring session, like, "Can I have 15 minutes to hear how you handled, whatever situation you can talk about?" So it's easier for people to say yes to a specific request. And those small moments often grow into a lifelong supportive relationships as well. The last one is how to practice that confidence building. You've already covered at our offices as well for our beneficiaries, Nisha. We can use the reference point, technique, that when you see someone doubting themselves, remind them of a past success they have forgotten, And the mentoring, we call this holding the mirror. So by referencing their specific wins, you give them evidence that they need to believe in their own future, about themselves and about their identity as well. So mentoring isn't a title, but it's a choice to be a door opener in every room you enter. So all of you, those who are watching this, if you want to put this into practice, visit us at www.mentoring.org.uk, and we provide the structure to turn your willingness into someone else's breakthrough. And as we bring this session to a close, I want to leave you with a simple truth that mentoring is the quietest way to start a revolution. And it doesn't always happen on a stage, in a formal boardroom or anything. Most of the time, mentoring changes lives quietly, consistently, and very powerful it is, behind the scenes. So it happens in the 10 minutes after the meeting, in a supportive just text message as well. That's enough. So at our offices, at the mentoring, we see that when you give someone your time, you're giving more than an advice, you're building their confidence. Time is so precious if you give your time to someone else. My hope is that you don't leave this session today, whoever is watching, with just information, but with intent. I want to challenge each one of you. What is one action you will take this month to uplift someone else? Maybe it's reaching out to a former mentee or somebody who you knew had problems, or perhaps signing up to be a mentor for somebody young, or in a local charity, whatever it is, we know that your small act of guidance or your time could be a huge breakthrough for someone else. And thank you for all your time. Thank you, TMR team, for organizing that, and your energy, and most importantly, for your commitment to human connection. Let's make this National Mentoring Month the start of a lifelong habit of reaching back as we move forward. That's my intention. And I love to remind and thank everyone who helped us at the charity as well as me on a personal level. Over to you, Maxine.
Now, I just want to say thank you once again to Sujatha, Thaladi, and to Nisha, Harichandran. This conversation has been really, really insightful and really helpful, both personally to me and I know to everybody who will